Carmelo Anthony's new famous team leader, Charleston White, is up to no good again.
I mean,
but this time,
this guy right here, he knows what he's talking about.
It's even worse. As seen in a brand new viral interview clip, Charleston explains how he plans.
That's actually perfect. That's what you would be like if you were Carmelo Anthony. I would say the words, but I'm not going to. That's perfect. That's the perfect way. Because he's not a gangster. He acts like a gangster. He's going to probably last a month before he finds or get everything, whatever he has left, taken away from him. No, I am not against your color of your skin. To me, everyone is pink. Because when you cut off the skin, what do you have left? We're all red inside. I have nothing against them. But if you want to act like a gangster and hurt someone for no apparent reason, I have no care about you. Zero.
To make sure that even if Carmelo is found guilty, they have a solid backup plan to ensure he gets sentenced to nothing more than a slap on the wrist.
That's funny. He's only against a judge, which is a Marine. And last time I checked, that judge does not care. A Marine, they chew color crayons. They love the regular ones. They don't care for the normal ones. Like the edible ones. They love the red ones. Blood red.
And unfortunately, it just might work. I'll explain everything. Let's get started. You're about to see a short clip of Charleston White explaining.
If you want to go to the description, you can go to his original page. And this guy he used to be in the jail system, so he knows what he's talking about.
All that he's doing for Carmelo.
Oh, this guy right here. If you pay him off enough, he'll guarantee do whatever you want. He'll even suck your privates too if you're willing to pay him enough.
Carmelo in just a few seconds. I'll wait to dive into it and break down what he's really plotting until after I show the clip. But I just want to say,
but that would have to be like $1 trillion.
Yes, we have heard Charleston mention in the past
but then anyone would do for that.
Recently that he has a boxing coach. That's all he's described this person as, to meet with Carmelo to teach him how to box. We've discussed that, and we've discussed how learning how to box doesn't really help you in prison. But in this new clip, he gives a lot more insight and a lot more detail and information that really opens up the grand scheme.
Boxing is useless in prison.
The big picture.
More like Taekwondo would be your better bet, but it would take too long for them to train enough.
Of what they're really trying to do. And as soon as
that's if the teacher is willing to train them if they don't pay enough.
I heard it as someone who recently did 10 years in prison. I've been arrested. I've posted bail. I've remained free on bail for 9-10 months before court.
Carmelo Anthony's father is basically probably should be in jail if he's not already in jail. Basically, he's a loser.
In another case, 2 years before court, I've had a paid lawyer. For both of these instances, I've been advised by that lawyer what to do, what steps to take, and different tactics in order to.
If you're a regular, decent person in society, remember, don't hurt a person or that. If you're willing to bring a knife to school and hurt someone, why are you bringing a knife in the first place? Can you please resolve it a different way without? And if you're that much of a lowlife where you have to use it, why you don't use your fists? If it means self-defense. I could personally take on probably 2 people at once. And that's if they have a knife. But if that person just brings out a knife nowhere, I'm going to have a very hard time dealing with it.
To have the best possible outcome in court.
And that's in my current shape.
And get a more favorable decision from the.
And I should say, I won't be thinking. It's pure reaction based.
The judge and jury in court. And so as soon as I heard Charleston going into all this detail that you're about to hear, it hit me instantly. I immediately realized, oh, that's what he's doing. And honestly, there's a reason lawyers do this and advise their clients to do that.
Oh, and I should also mention, you could grab my wrist. That would mean absolutely nothing to me. Do you know my hand's gonna be wrapped around your head? What is the one you grabbed?
This because it works, and it just might work for Karmelo. So, first off, take a listen.
It's a boxing program that the Fort Worth Police Department uses. It's a violent intervention program, but it's a portion of this boxing and MMA by some professional MMA fighters and boxers. So Trent is one of them. Former gang leader that brought the Bloods to the
Boxing is useless in the prison system.
city out of Fort Worth. So they use boxing as a form of discipline, character building.
I doubt for MMA even bothers having you have. MMA is mixed martial arts.
Self-esteem building, and youth engagement, as well as mentorship, critical thinking skills. Having to think under pressure, and you being able to think and not reacting off what you feel. Learning how to stick to what you're being trained in.
Good tea I made.
Different techniques, so that equips you just in life. Period. So
boxing doesn't mean anything. Doing martial arts teaches you discipline and ability to control us and control your spirit, so you don't do stuff like what he did.
This is what I pay him every week, homie, to go out there with Karmelo Anthony, because he don't know how to fight.
Now, there's a lot to dissect and break down from that very short clip. Let's start with the fact that Charleston.
If I ever have kids, they're going to learn Taekwondo. They're going to learn martial arts. They will be disciplined, so they don't do this stuff.
White, yes, he does have involvement.
But first, I have to meet someone first before I have children.
Heavy involvement in a program for youth in the community. Excuse me. I mentioned in my first video about Charleston, I think I wrongfully assumed that most of you who watch me already knew a lot about Charleston White and who he was and what his past is. I was wrong, and I was corrected. A lot of you haven't never heard of him, have no idea who he is. So I will just point out, Charleston White was a real deal, true blue community activist for positive change in the community. He wanted to stop violence, stop gang violence, killings, shootings, all that negativity. He spent years of his life against that and being very outspoken against that in his community.
Basically, since he became famous, now people want him to say something. It's called money now.
He says himself in interviews, he gave up on that. He gave up on trying to be a change in his community because he says when he was a activist and he was doing these speeches and going out and spending hours a day, every day, trying to speak to kids and the youth and even broke. And so then I did what I did on the internet and I started making money. And now I'm the ultimate provider. Apartments, government officials in your local Texas towns out there. He
basically, in the short term, it's because he became famous. Now everyone expects him to do it for free. It's called paying the bills.
Really does. That is an absolute fact. He is talking about this organization he's a part of that has ties to a local police department and even has police officers helping train and kind of give some of the teaching and instruction in this program. That is a tactic because all of this program, he is prioritizing numero uno, Karmelo Anthony. He wants Karmelo Anthony to be associated with this backed by the blue organization.
He wants him to find what Bubba feels like.
Members of local police departments, local to
he's going to be lubing him up so much.
Where this crime occurred, involved in this, and they believe in this. And so now Karmelo Anthony is one of those students, one of those youth who is receiving this. He has already gained some favorability. We all know how police departments talk and work with neighboring police departments. He's already in there to that degree. And that is why he's doing that and saying that. That's just step one. Now, step two, he's talking about You got to really pay attention. I encourage you, rewind this video back to that clip. Really listen to him 2 or 3 times. It all sounds very positive, which at its core it is, but everything he's saying, it is very slick and sinister. Character building, discipline, restraint, teaching this young man what to do in high pressure situations, how to not lose his cool, how to think, how to critically think in high pressure situations, how to, I quote, rely on the teachings and trainings that have been instilled in him when emergency situations happen, right? Does that sound familiar? Sounds like what police officers get trained to do. That's what that you're seeing that as a result of the involvement of law enforcement. But do you know where this is all coming to a head to? Hey, because let's be real. Karmelo, you should have got that training before you pulled a knife out of your book bag for no dang reason and took the life of an innocent kid.
And yes, it was an innocent kid who literally had just told him, get up, get away from here so we don't have any problems, because I know you're a dang thief. You're going to steal everything I own because you're a goddamn thief. And would I personally do it? I would have done the exact same thing. Try to get him away from it. The kid had no reason to be sent to the afterlife because of this butthead. He could have grew up, had a family, and that. Been a really good society. This black kid took the person's life for no reason. Because he wanted to steal. He wanted to thieve. You know what? There's a lot of black guys out there who are decent people. And they don't do this stuff. If you believe in God or believe in that stuff, do what you want done to what you want to be done to yourself.
You should have learned how to critically think. You should have learned how to process stuff. You should have learned self-discipline. You should have learned character building. You should have learned this stuff. From who? Your daddy. But your daddy's too busy out here being a fugitive from the law since 2018. So of course you're not going to learn it from your daddy.
He's too busy running away, being a chicken.
But you should have learned all that stuff before you took the life of an innocent person, Austin Metcalf, whose birthday recently passed. Rest in peace to him. Obviously, any sensible person, you should have learned the...
And the thing is, I would do the exact same thing if it was a black person, if you guys like taken away by a white person. I am not racist against either type people.
Yeah, these all sound great. You should have learned them before you murdered him. Charleston doesn't care about that. That's not why he's bringing it up. And that's not why he doesn't even care if Karmelo learns these morals and values. He doesn't. He knows the game. He's been to prison. He was a former high-ranking gang member of the Crips, Charleston White. He's in his late 40s. He's been doing this a long time. He's been in a lot of crap. I will give him that. He's seen and done a lot of things. He's got a lot of real world experience. He knows he is an expert in how this kind of stuff goes. You pay him enough money, which I'm sure they did. He knows how to get you off. He's mentioning all these things because these are the things.
Also, go to him and sub and like, and also do the exact same thing for me. I'm trying to grow my channel. I also do gaming tech, gaming stuff. I'm trying to get some other pet projects going at the same time.
Things a paid lawyer advises a client. That's what I was advised to do when I was in a situation not as extreme as this, but I had a big case coming up and I was on bail and I was young. I was 19. And I didn't know what to do. That's what they tell you to do. Enroll in programs that teach this, and this that are specific to your crime, because
enroll into martial arts, places which will give you discipline, like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. You need to enroll that in. You need to learn discipline, or else you're going to be like Karmelo Anthony, sitting behind bars for the rest of your life and wondering, why can't I get the latest game? I want to play the new video game that came out. Oh, too bad, you're in behind bars for the rest of your life. You could choose 2 ways. Stay behind bars or meet your God.
Then Worst case scenario, I don't think they're going to go for a plea deal, but you never know because they have a whole year. And as more evidence comes out, as all that kind of gets configured, they may realize, hey, you know what? We're screwed. We should probably go for a plea deal. This will help them with a plea deal. It will also help them in trial. Hey, all things considered right now, they are 100% dedicated to going to trial. And so you go to trial, and let's say you still get found guilty, which I'm sure he will, then you have to get sentenced. And during the sentencing, this is where that will also come up. So either way, this is going to benefit him. Oh, Your Honor, I'd just like to say Karmelo has spent the last year of his life ever since this unfortunate altercation
He could care less.
in a very prestigious program that is actually heavily involving local police department and several decorated members of the police force in this local Texas town, to teach character building character and instilling discipline.
The cops are gonna laugh at him.
And how to show restraint and how to critically think in high pressure violent situations, and then also teaching self-defense, teaching the tools needed to defend oneself, but also the discipline to rely on that training and not exceed that training to where you get into unnecessary force and things like that. Everything that kind of leads to my client being guilty, he has not just sat on the couch eating Doritos, playing the video games for the past year. He has actively been trying to become a better man and be taught by your very own law enforcement officers how to correct pretty much everything that caused him no critical thinking. What are the consequences of stabbing someone in the heart? You're not no critical thinking in a high pressure situation that he created.
For a person like me who thinks about the military, this sounds like a bunch of bull. Just the act of taking someone's life and not caring one bit to tell me what kind of person you are, and you have no sympathy for anyone. So you're totally a gangster. You act like this. I throw the guy behind bars, because that's not like your regular person who will hesitate to take someone's life. This is a person who would. So he's against a Marine. The Marine's going to say, I'm going to throw you behind bars. No hands.
Discipline, no character, no nothing. And at the very least, no idea how to just fight someone with your bare hands, because I guarantee you it would not have led to a death if he had just, hey, you want to fight, you really don't like Austin, you really got.
And the thing is, the person who, the judge, has taken lives because he was a Marine. He probably had to a few times. So hearing his buddy getting blown up, he's used to it. So for this, he knows how this guy thinks.
Got a problem with him? Fight him. Not saying that's the right answer, but you know what? Before you stab him, fight him. Instead of stab him, I should say, fight him. But now he's been trained, so now, he won't have to resort to a knife anymore, Your Honor. So yeah, all these things have been corrected, and he did what he needed to do. He stepped up and was taught by your own officers how to be a better man and be a better citizen. So no need to punish him with life in prison or anything crazy like that. He's learned his lesson and he's corrected his incorrect behavior. So just give him a little something, a little slap on the wrist, and you'll never have another problem out of him again. We've fixed that. Your boys in blue have fixed that. That is the tactic that Charleston White is doing right now. Now we see. Because it never made sense. Oh, I'm going to get him a boxing coach. We're going to teach him to box. If he's innocent, he's not going to prison, right? So why does he need to learn how to box? And even more so, if he does go to prison and you taught him how to box, it's not going to help him. Trust me, I've been there for a decade. There's no time for, jab, jab, right hook, right cross.
That won't do nothing. Mixed martial arts is what you should learn. They don't go jab, jab. They do kick, punch, punch, bash to the head. They're gonna do martial arts instead, gangster style.
Uppercut, feint, duck, duck, body shot.
Oh, they're gonna do this. Slam with your freaking elbow straight to the guy's head. Up with the kick straight to the stomach. Land a kick right on the side of your chest with their leg. They're gonna use this part right here will break parts. Trust me, this part right here is very dangerous. It doesn't take a lot to hurt someone. And then a slam to their skull against the ground to knock them out.
Body shot. Oh, get some distance. Circle. There's no room for that. Every single area you are in is no greater than 6 foot by 4 foot. I've been in 44 prison fights my first 2 years out of 10. I've seen 100. Every single prison fight within it's not going to last more than 25 seconds. Within the first 4.
Yeah, within the first 4 seconds, you're basically KO'd. I know techniques which literally it will take a person out in like 3 or 4 seconds within. I mean, really, it's not very much. And if I did it correctly, the person would be seeing his god.
4 seconds, you will end up
just by finishing the technique.
With your arms wrapped around each other some way, somehow. One guy is biting you and tearing chunks out of your flesh. I have a bite wound on my chest still to this day. It happened in 2015. It is still here. 10 years later, it is still here. People are grabbing your ears and trying to rip them off of your effing head. These guys are brutal. They fight like savages. There is no, oh, jab, oh, bide your time, figure him out, assess your...
There's going to be 3 against 1. One guy grabbing hold of you, while the other one just punches you in the stomach, and then goes right between your legs. They're going to do everything possible. They're called gorillas.
Your opponent, oh, jab, slip. Oh, yeah, oh. Brother, you better get to work and you better hurt somebody in 10 seconds or you're screwed. So if anything, you should be teaching him wrestling or jiu-jitsu, which now he's saying not only is it a boxing, they're not just teaching boxing, they're also teaching MMA, which would imply some wrestling, some grappling, some jiu-jitsu, which, yeah, that is good. And then he tries to end it off with, we're trying to teach Karmelo that because, at the end of the day, Karmelo can't fight. I agree. But Charleston White is not saying Karmelo can't fight because of the actual fact that he can't. Because if he could, he would have knocked Austin Metcalf out. No matter who was in the right, who was in the wrong, who started it, what reason. If he could fight, he would have threw 3 or 4 punches, probably knocked Austin out, and that would have been that at the most. Maybe suspension, maybe nothing. Maybe people might not even made a big deal about it. It's a school fight. That stuff happens.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that much. I mean, if you just knock the kid out, you're probably going to be suspended from school. That's pretty much all. And then come back to school. It wouldn't be you going to prison for the rest of your life.
A lot. Knocked him out if you really knew how to fight, and that's that. Everyone lives to see another day, and nobody spends life in prison. But he didn't do that. He didn't even try. He pulled a knife out of his book bag and plunged it in the heart and then ran away, just in case Austin didn't die from that plunge and was able to get his hands on him because he was so scared.
That was a pussy move, basics.
Scared of having to face Austin. Hands to hands, man to man. He took a knife out and sneakily plunged it in his heart and then ran away like a little scared little boy, terrified of what would happen.
Yeah, a real man who wants to deal with it, just I'm gonna eat your heart. Because his brother's gonna beat the living daylights out of him.
Happen if that did not end.
And it was his twin who got sent to the afterlife.
Austin's life, but it did, unfortunately. So
I feel bad for the family who lost a son because of a kid who literally is a psycho.
So yes, it's safe to say Karmelo doesn't know how to fight.
And it doesn't matter if he was white or black or pink or yellow. A life is a life. It could mean that person having children, probably becoming a better person who's respected in society, but has got ended because of one kid who thinks I need to steal everything you own. If you agree with this, go ahead and dislike. I will see it, and I'll laugh at you right afterwards because you're no more than a criminal in my heart.
Otherwise, he would have fought. I know how to fight. I'm not signing up for the UFC title match anytime soon. But against your average Joe who bothers me or picks a fight with me, maybe they had a few too many drinks and I'm just walking down the sidewalk downtown and they stumble out and they're a little drunk and they want to bother me, I probably beat the freaking crap. I don't think they've experienced anyone who's gone through what I've gone through probably in their life, but I would get my.
I've never had to go through what he has gone through. I have never been to jail. I haven't even been to the jail at all. But I respect people because of all the martial arts experience. I have gotten one time. Me and my friend were fighting. This is actually a true story. He blocked. I landed a kick right on his arm, and our pads had moved over. And that's what's going to protect my leg. It took me like 3 days before I could even walk. And then I also had to go to work with that injury. We laughed like crazy, and I had a bruise on my arm on my right leg, and he had a bruise on his arm. And we just laughed at it. We were having fun. No one else would bother fighting him after that because me and him would go completely nuts. Even the black belts did not want to deal with me and him. With him, because we're that nuts. We will go all out, see who would win. I know I'm gonna lose, but still, I'm gonna fight him as hard as I can. We had padding, so we were all padded with the mouth guard and everything on, and that guard for males, and we would go at it like crazy, and everyone will stop what they're doing and watch us while we're pounding each other pretty much effectively. And that's when I was skinnier and he was skinnier. Oh man, that was fun.
My butt handed to me by anyone who's had any type of training.
I miss them days.
All that to say, Charleston White.
And if you wonder, that was over 10 years ago, and we're still best friends. That was in the martial art training.
Said Karmelo can't fight at the very end, not because it's true, but to further solidify.
Oh, and I also had to drive my car back home that day, like usual. So try to drive with the right leg hurting pretty bad.
The persona that he wants painted and that needs to be painted for their team's sake, of Karmelo in court. He doesn't know how to fight, and that's why he felt so inclined to defend himself and so threatened by this big boy, this big, strong, muscular football player. Brother, you're also a big, strong, muscular football player. What the hell are you talking about? But Charleston is trying to paint this picture. Oh, he doesn't know how to fight.
He's a weak boy because he had to do a woman's way of fighting. I know women who are more dangerous than Carmelo Anthony. Literally are in martial arts who would take him out like he was nothing. I mean, in my martial art class, we had women in there, and they could take his head off easily.
And he doesn't. But that's not why he said it. He said it to further solidify the fact that, this is why Karmelo felt so threatened and had to use a weapon. Because even Charleston knows it is going to come down to this. You are going to get found guilty, or you are going to have to take a plea deal once all this evidence comes to light, maybe 6 to 8 months down the line, and you realize all hope is lost. You are going to have to do a plea deal. You are going to go to trial and lose and then have to go to sentencing. Either way, you're going to have to present a case about how much you've changed, Karmelo, how much you've learned from your mistake and the steps.
Thing is, he's not going to take a plea deal if I think correctly. He's too much of an idiot. He thinks he's going to get off of this, so he's not going to take a plea deal. That's pretty much off the wall. This guy is too much of an idiot to bother with it.
You've taken with paperwork, these type of programs Charleston's talking about, they have degrees, they have paperwork, they have certificates with your name on it. You've completed this, you've done this, you've learned these skills, you've done this, and this is backed by police officers. That means something, and that's what's so scary. They got a guy who knows what he's doing, he's been through it, and he is going to get Karmelo through it. And he's going to put all his ducks in a row and really try to get him a slap on the wrist no matter how this plays out. That is what is scary. Anyways, that's my thoughts, and that's the information I have for you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.
I say this judge won't care about that paperwork. He won't care one bit because he sees a guy who is a gangster. He'll care a little bit. He might take a little bit, a major part of his life sentence off. Still, I give the guy a month in prison. We only need him to go to prison for a few months. That's all we need. And then he'll be meeting his God. Because he'll mess up as soon as he finds the group I think he'll find. And they won't care because he has no money.
Below, will this help him? Will it matter? Is he still doomed no matter what? Life in prison? Or
we only really need a few months. That's all we need. One day we'll find out he met his God.
Do they know exactly what they're doing? And it's downright outrageous and messed up how they're playing the system. Let me know. Other than that, I will see you.
He will get something, and one day we'll find out, he had met his God.